What is nothing? Even the very first approach to this question reveals something unusual. By asking it, we immediately assume nothing as something that is in a certain way, meaning we treat it as a being. Any answer to this question is in principle impossible, because it always presupposes that nothing is something. For this reason, the sciences are never concerned with nothing, and they discard it as something useless for us. Nevertheless, nothing is very present in our life, at the very least in the form of the simple logical negation, for example, eating and not eating, human or not human. But nothing is even more present in our life. Deeper than the mere logical negation are the harshness of the oppression and the bitterness of hatred. More significant are the pain of failure and the inexorability of prohibition. Harder is the bitterness of renunciation. In this video, we will see Martin Heidegger's revolutionary idea about the future of philosophy and its relationship to the sciences. Let's see quickly who is Martin Heidegger. Martin Heidegger was a German philosopher famous for his contribution to phenomenology, hermeneutics, and existentialism. He is widely regarded as one of the most influencing philosophers of the 20th century. Hannah Arendt writes about him: "There is only one true philosopher in this century, Martin Heidegger." In his first major text, Being and Time, Heidegger introduces the concept of Dasein, which in German is commonly used as existence. But Heidegger uses this word to describe in a different way the being of the human beings. The reason is that this word, when understood literally, can be split in two separated parts, da and sein. Da is a preposition of space that means here and there, and sein means being. According to Heidegger, this word expresses perfectly the original relationship between humans and the being. Heidegger argues that Dasein has an inherent pre-ontological understanding of the existence that shapes how humans live. He analyzes this through the concept of being in the world, to explore the fundamental way a man relates to the world that surrounds him. In short, Heidegger's work is concerned with the intelligibility of the entities as specific beings that they are, and what makes them the way they are. In the pre-Socratic Greece, there was no distinction between philosophy and science. If we had asked a Greek of that time what science or philosophy meant to him, he probably would have not even understood the question. These two concepts, as we understand them today, were developed through a long tradition inaugurated by Plato and Aristotle. Today, however, the relationship between philosophy and science appears increasingly disconnected. Heidegger was the first philosopher to recognize this issue, suggesting that a resolution might be found by rethinking the concept of metaphysics. What is metaphysics? In other words, what transcends the physical world, and in what sense do the physical and not physical world exist? To simplify the question, what are the respective domains of philosophy and science, and how do they relate to metaphysics? In his text, What is Metaphysics?, Heidegger begins with the idea that metaphysics is not a science that deals with a domain opposite to or transcending the physical world. Instead, he seeks a connection between physical and not physical worlds, beginning with the question, what is nothing? Through the experience of nothing, Heidegger argues that humans encounter the essence of being. But in what situations does man experience nothing in daily life? According to Heidegger, anxiety is the key to understand this experience. Anxiety initially disconnects us from the things that surround us, leaving us suspended in the nothing, but then it allows us to reestablish a deeper and more direct connection with them. By this mechanism, anxiety reveals nothing and shows how man, as a metaphysical being, is grounded and sustained in this nothing. What is the revolution introduced by Heidegger? Ancient and Christian metaphysics have always posed the problem of being and nothing, but from the wrong perspective. Ancient metaphysics considered being a counterpoint of nothing, and therefore nothing to be the negation of being. while Christianity considered nothing as the total absence of God, but without realizing that God, by creating ex nihilo, so from nothing, must have a certain relationship with it. Heidegger, in order to solve this problem, begins with the relationship between man and nothing. This starting point is revolutionary, since no philosopher before ever questioned the nothing as such and its relationship to the human being. So how do the science and philosophy come together according to Heidegger? If nothing determines being and contains it, the being arises and manifests itself through the existence of nothing. This implies that the being and the nothing are not opposites, but they exist on the same level. They are not two elements that deny each other, but rather two dimensions that share the same nature and engage in a dialogue. In this light, Heidegger argues that philosophy and science are not distinct fields operating in isolation. Man is philosophical in his very essence, and this fundamental metaphysical nature shapes his relationship with the physical world, which science investigates. Thus, science cannot fully examine the physical world without acknowledging the metaphysical nature of human existence. Heidegger concludes with a provocative question: is it possible to investigate the physical world while ignoring or denying the metaphysical nature of human being? Thank you for watching this video. I'm Ivan and this is Empyreon, the Academy of Philosophy and Fine Arts.